And hi, good morning, everybody. This is Robin from Roaming with Rover, and we have very, very special guests with us today, Daniel and Ash, the Paw Ply Guys. And good morning. And I assume Oslo's lurking somewhere in the corner. There he is. Hi, sweetheart.
He's definitely made you made an effort today, haven't you, to come up on Roaming with Rover's panel? Yes.
So nice. Max joined me a little while ago. He jumped up here and had his nose all in everything. And I told him you guys were going to be on, so he might pop up here again. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so usually I do my little welcome speech, but I got to tell you guys right off what's going on, because it's been a wild morning. And most of you guys know that we work on an oil rig. It's a live rig. And we've just had a small accident a few minutes ago. So Mr., who usually runs interference for me when I'm doing my lives, had to run into town to get some safety supplies that we didn't have here. We had to go in search of some crutches. So I may have to jump up and take care of a truck that normally I wouldn't have to pay any attention to at all. I'm so sorry, but that's the life on the oil rig. And hopefully he'll be back soonish, but you never know. Good morning, Susan. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, Angela. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know we've got some people lurking in the background. I'm pretty sure that we've got Amber from Fostering Crochet is lurking in the background because she's working away this morning. Okay, I need to catch my breath. It's been a wild morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, deep breath. Yes. Don't want to hyperventilate because that's the next thing I would do. All right. So thank you all for joining us. If you haven't had the opportunity to subscribe to either myself or to the Paw Ply Guys, please make sure you take a chance. Yes, Angela, because you know how that goes, don't you? Poor Angela, right in the middle of our life. I lost, and of course, there comes a truck. Okay, y'all, you get to talk. You're on.
Oh, hello.
We have to lie.
Into the... Well, I can't remember the saying. Out of the fat. No, I don't know.
Don't ask Ash nothing.
So yeah, don't ask me.
Don't ask Ash nothing.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that we said hello to everyone.
So we've got Angela here.
So hi, Angela. Hi, Susan.
We have Melissa's here.
Hi,
too.
Lovely Melissa. And hi to anyone that.
Oh, and Samantha's here.
And Samantha Stewart. Hi, Samantha.
Hello.
So
I should get the live up on my phone, shouldn't I?
Well, so you can follow.
Because sometimes StreamYard is a bit laggy.
So we do actually have. Oh, I don't know if he's gonna. Did he? Were we live when we showed Oslo?
Yeah.
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
See, I've only been on for 3 minutes and I'm forgetting stuff. That's just me.
And it doesn't make anything better that we have. This is one of the busier parts of the process, so I'm going to have cement trucks coming back and forth. Oh my Lord, the joys of going live, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. Make sure that you hit that thumbs up and make sure that you get in there and subscribe. I can't imagine that any of you are not already subscribed to the Paw Ply Guys, as we know
if you're new, you'll be having words.
Amazing they are. And so, how did you start? How did you decide to get started on YouTube?
It was there was a lot, wasn't there?
We wanted to start YouTube for quite a while, didn't we?
Yeah.
So from I'd say about maybe like 2017.
Yeah, before I even started dyeing yarn.
Yeah, so long before then, we were quite interested in it, but I held us back, didn't I? I was too scared. I was just too nervous, and I didn't want to I don't know, just didn't have the confidence to put ourselves out there.
Mm-hmm.
You probably did a bit more than me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it started. I'll let you carry on because.
And then obviously I started my yarn business, and then I started making some friends. I started talking to people, and everyone was just like, just do it, just start the channel and just do it. And then
because I think we already had a channel created,
yeah,
didn't we, for when we were sort of tentatively thinking about
Yeah, but we
perhaps doing
we hadn't
something.
uploaded anything. But then everyone was just like, just do it. So then we just did it. I started off on my own,
Yeah.
and then Ash came
For
in later.
for quite a while, you were on your own, weren't you?
Yeah.
From when did you start? It was like
May
June.
May.
Yeah, May, June, July time.
May last year.
And
then you came in recently.
Yeah, and then I just came and crashed the show a bit.
Yeah.
And we're so glad you did.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
I love it.
So very glad you did. It's hard to get started, isn't it? I had a mentor, and I'm like, I'm afraid. And he's like, look, just do it. Get your first video out there, and you're going to be terrible, but it doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it anyway. And I'm like, oh, you're right. And it really helped. It really helped just doing it. Just
Right.
doing it.
It's just getting started. It's just
Yeah.
uploading that first video and getting started.
It's so easy to find a reason to say no to stuff, isn't it? And then
Right.
it's like, no, you need to start saying yes to things.
Right.
Absolutely. So how did you guys decide to name your channel? How did you come up with your name?
Him.
Me.
Ash came up with the name because obviously the business is called the Paw Ply Yarn Company. So we wanted to spin on that a little bit. So Ash said, we'll just call it the Paw Ply Guys.
I like a terrible pun. Like, I really like a terrible pun. So any way I can fit a pun in, perfect.
Right.
So yeah, we just sort of felt
right.
Like a really good way of tying
the business into YouTube as well. Yeah. Yeah,
and sort of creating a bit more of a cohesive channel type thing, wasn't it? Yeah. And then I think it changed for a little bit to the Paw Ply Guy.
Yeah, it changed briefly to the Paw Ply Guy because it was just like, me. And then Ash came into the situation, so we changed it back to the Paw Ply Guys.
So I demanded he add an S back on the end of it.
Yeah. So that was it.
So yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. You guys are so nice. You guys work so well together, and your personalities mesh so well. It's nice when we get the chance to see both of you at the same time.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate. I know how busy you are, and I know this takes a lot out of you, and I do truly appreciate you taking time to come up and visit with us.
No, honestly, it's a real pleasure. A real pleasure. Like, as much as, I don't know about you, but as much as I was really like nervous and like really excited in sort of equal measure, like, yeah, it was a real pleasure to be up and be able to do this.
Good. So, Daniel, tell us about the award that you got.
I haven't just won one award. I've won two.
Oh, excuse me.
I didn't announce the second one. I was meaning to do it for a long time, and then I just completely forgot to announce it. But the first award, I got contacted. I can't even remember when it was. I think it was not long after I started YouTube. I got contacted saying that I'd been shortlisted in this award. I had no idea what they were talking about. And then I said, yeah, okay. And then I got an email saying that I'd won, which I was pretty shocked about. And then it just went from there. And then I got another email a while back saying that I'd been shortlisted for another award. So yeah, and then I won that one.
The following year one, wasn't it? Like,
yeah. So I won the Prestige Award Scotland. I can't remember what year, 2021, 2022. And then I won the SME Elite Business Award. So that was a voting one. So I shared the link on YouTube and everyone voted for me. No, it wasn't that one. No. Yeah, and then I won another one, and then I was highly commended in another award.
That was a craft.
That was a craft specific award, which everyone voted for on YouTube. So I got highly commended in that one as well. So I won two and was highly commended in another.
That is just fabulous.
Yeah, so it's been busy.
And well deserved awards. It's great when the community actually has the opportunity to recognize someone who's doing wonderful work, and we're so pleased that you guys received that.
Yeah, I'm super happy.
Well, most of us are aware of Oslo being part of your life, an important part of your life. We're obviously big dog lovers. And I just had one of them crawl up next to me, but she's just off camera. So, tell us a little bit about how Oslo became part of your life.
Okay, so
Explain how you didn't want to.
no, this is a story. Well, so we've both always had dogs, haven't we? Like growing up, and when me and Dan met each other, my family had a Cavalier King Charles, a Blenheim Cavalier King Charles called Oscar, and a Cocker Spaniel called Oliver. And you had I think like a Staffordshire Terrier.
I had a Staffy,
yeah, called Harley. And we were quite happy with that for a while, weren't we? And then when we sort of got married, we decided we wanted a little doggy of our own, like our own little dog to sort of look after and sort of enjoy, because we're big dog lovers, absolutely love our animals, especially our dogs. And so we were like, okay, we would really like a Cavalier King Charles. So
I went looking.
Yeah, you were more insistent than I was, weren't you? I was more like, oh, can we really afford it? Is it the right time?
So I went looking online to find some dogs that needed homing close to us, and then I found this one which was like half an hour from where we live. So I was like, Ash, look at this, there's puppies. So
there's lovely like Cavalier mum, wasn't there? Had the mum and the dad there.
So I called them up and arranged to go and have a look. And as soon as I saw the picture, there was 3 puppies all together. I looked at the picture and I picked Oslo out straight away. I said, I want Oslo. I want this one. And then we went there, and Oslo was the only puppy left.
Yeah, so were you the right?
Yeah, so Oslo was the last one, and we had to have him straight away.
And as soon as they put him in
my arms, I was like, no, we've got to have him. We're taking him home today.
I couldn't say no then. I was like, no, he's coming home. So you did, didn't you?
So he came home with us.
You did. And he just a really lovely addition, wasn't he? Like he just fit in so nicely with the other dogs and with us.
Yeah.
He's got such a beautiful temperament. We're just really, really, really lucky with him. He's a diamond.
Yeah.
He's so sweet.
He is. We couldn't ask for a better dog. We really couldn't.
Oh, how old was he when you got him? Was it just a few weeks then?
No, I think he was like 14
weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he was the last puppy to go, so he was on the older side of when you first sell a puppy.
So he had his like first set of vaccinations and everything.
Was he 14 or 16 weeks? Somewhere between that.
Yeah.
Between 14 and 16 weeks.
Yeah. So.
And he had a little squish nose, and he was just adorable.
Yeah.
He was. You had to have him.
I want to take a moment and say hello to all the new people that have been joining in. And of course, we're visiting this morning with Daniel and Ash and Oslo. And I want to just let you know again, we've had a small emergency here on the rig. And, oh, hello, Crystal. We've had a very small emergency here on the rig, a little accident. And so Mr. has gone to town in search of crutches. And I am also manning the gate. Normally he would handle all this stuff for me when I'm doing my lives. So Daniel and Ash graciously have, whether they liked it or not, have offered to jabber away while I have to jump up and take care of the occasional truck. Hopefully most all of the traffic has come through. But, that's the joy of doing lives. So I thank everybody for your patience during this unexpected mess. So, Daniel and Ash, let's learn some more things about you guys. Okay, so we know that you adore doing the dyeing yarn. And Ash, you don't participate in the yarn dyeing a whole lot, do you? Do you?
No.
I didn't think so. I want to get my facts straight.
I've tried, and I want to love it, but I just don't. I love playing with the stuff once it's been dyed. I just
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't like the
It's stressful.
It's stressful for you. So he just leaves it up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm usually telling him, Ash, just leave, let me do it.
Get out the way.
Well, everybody has, things they're good at and things they're not good at, and so your strengths and weaknesses, and that's what makes us all meld together, is everybody dealing with their strengths. So there's nothing wrong with that. And Daniel, you're an amazing yarn dyer, so go with that. Go with your strength.
Thank you. Ash, you help me out with the admin stuff, don't you?
Yeah, I do a lot of the paperwork.
You do all the paperwork. I do the yarn dyeing.
And that's extremely important. The behind the scenes stuff makes all the difference there as well. How do you guys? I know you're doing your villain series. How do you decide what colorways you're going to use?
Usually, I just decide on the day. So when I decide when the time is coming for me to release the colorway, I just randomly come up with a villain and then I go with it. So the first one was Ursula. So that was purple and like a grey black. And then the second one was Cruella. So that was red and black. So it's just whatever I decide to do on the day. And I guess it depends how I'm feeling as well.
You always enjoy it more, don't you, when you sort of don't know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
If I mean that in like the nicest possible way.
I'm spontaneous.
Yeah.
I'm spontaneous, so I like to just come up with ideas on the spot. When I get the yarn out, when I'm dyeing yarn, I just make everything up as I go.
Well, and that makes sense. That's the artist in you, of course, doing that sort of thing. So I do want to just take a moment, and if any of my moderators are out there, and I do want to thank those of you who are moderating for me today. I don't have a lot, so my moderators have a heavy load this morning. But if you guys want to have your link drop, please just say CC. And if my moderator has time, they will absolutely do that for us. So other than the yarn dyeing, which of course we know is amazing, what other of crafts I have another dog joining me. They're not going to like it when I have to jump up. Come on, you want to say hi? Yeah, want to say hi to everybody? There's Joe. He's cranky. He doesn't like to be. Joe is funny. He wants to always be in your lap, but he doesn't want you to lift him. He doesn't like to be held in that way. But he wants to be loved on and petted 24/7. But it has to be his idea. So
on his terms.
Yeah, on his terms, absolutely. So, of course, we know that Daniel, you're an amazing crocheter, and we know that Ash, you are an amazing knitter. What else? What else you got?
I occasionally, very occasionally, diamond paint.
Oh yeah.
But I used to be very into my diamond painting, but it's not very often I do this. I've got a diamond painting; it's just far too big, and I just look at it and it puts me off.
It's what?
It's
size
huge.
Size of a. No, it's not quite.
It's like 80 inches.
Yeah, it's.
Oh.
It's a very big.
It's huge.
Disney.
No,
castle.
not 80 inches. 80 centimeters. So it's just under a meter. So it's just under a meter long.
I'm trying to think what that would be in
2.5. I figured that out. It's just about 2.5 is what you divide it by. Which, so of course, I cannot do in my head.
It's pretty big,
especially 20 by 20 or something like that. Pretty big.
So when about 20, 25.
Yeah, it covers the table.
It covers our dining room table.
Yeah.
So, and the diamonds are absolutely tiny. So I just get put off when I see it.
I'll be right back. Tell us about your cross stitch adventures, Daniel.
my non-existent cross stitching now.
Yes.
I got really into my cross stitch, didn't I?
You did.
And then I kind of gave up.
So our biggest toxic trait is probably finding a craft, getting all excited about it, buying absolutely everything that you need for it beyond what's reasonable for a beginner, and then probably not touching it again for like 2 years.
I still got a cross stitch somewhere that I need to do. I think it's a Jack Skellington one.
It's a nice one though.
Right.
Yeah, you'll probably pick that up, but then before I know it, I'll come back downstairs like in the morning, and you'll have cross stitched a whole cross stitch.
Yeah,
because that's the sort of person you are.
I'm a night owl.
Do that.
I'll sit up all night and do what I do. Yeah,
I love cross stitch, and probably other than crochet, it's probably my most very favorite. I think I see the crutches have appeared. You want to take him down to the rig? He's on the rig floor. If you just watch, get your hard hat on and walk towards the yellow stairs, they're watching for you. Okay, I got to make an announcement. Okay, they might.
Jillian just said donate and move on. The thing is, Jilly, I do that and then I want to do it.
The crutches are here.
Yeah, you'd regret it. There's that cross stitch that I've had for 7 years, and now I've donated it. I want to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always the way. But you want what you can't have.
Yeah.
It's that classic thing.
I've got that sort of personality.
I didn't put real shoes on.
Okay, so because I was really surprised when I saw your video about getting the cross stitch, but I hadn't heard anything about cross stitch before. So
yeah, I started it, but then I kind of gave up.
Let's say it'd be quite funny to find our cross stitches wherever they are, and our work in progress with like
I've been the first
one stitch in it.
I've been the first one, so I got it all tangled up, and it was just a huge tangled mess.
See, I really love cross stitch. It's so therapeutic, but the only thing I don't like is pulling the strings apart. Yeah, the threads apart at the beginning, and like the thread management and stuff. I don't enjoy
separating out all the colors.
Yeah. I get too
on the little things. Yeah, I love it too.
Get started.
Yeah,
I love it as well. And trust me, I get the whole buying everything known to man. And it's funny because you step away from a craft for a while, and then you come back to it. And especially with YouTube, where there's so many people out there talking about it, and it's like, I've done cross stitch for 35 years. How did they come up with all these new toys that, of course, I need to have right now? So. It is, yeah, and I think the majority of us have all different piles of different activities and crafts waiting for us. So, and I'm sure. Oh, hi, Oslo. I'm sure you guys have mentioned it before. Oh, needlepoint. Somebody wants to know if you've done needlepoint.
No,
I've not either.
I haven't even heard of needlepoint.
That's like embroidery and.
Oh, embroidery.
I think I don't know.
Embroidery is different. To me, needlepoint is very similar to cross stitch, to where you're making a tapestry piece. So you're stitching the entire piece, but it's like half of a cross. So it's just half of a cross stitch all the way around.
So I haven't done that. No.
I like it, but you can get your thing gets all jabberwocky if you don't do it just right. Embroidery I cannot do. My grandmother tried to teach me, the little old lady next door. My stitching is terrible. I can't get good even stitches, so I gave up on that. I don't even try.
Yeah.
Don't even try.
I won't even try embroidery.
Yeah, it's and I'm left-handed, so when I try to do like a French knot, it's backwards, and it just I gave up. Cannot do it. Cannot do it. So how did you guys learn your craft? How did you learn your crochet and knitting?
I taught myself.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't start off on YouTube. I literally bought a crochet kit. I bought an amigurumi lion kit, I believe, and I bought a book. So between the kit and the book, I taught myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to YouTube a couple of stitches and stuff, but other than that, I taught myself.
Like the magic loop. Is it magic loop?
I hate magic loop.
Yeah.
I can't stand magic loop.
You had to YouTube that, and you did that. And it didn't quite turn out right, did it?
No, I finished it, but it didn't turn out right. But that's how I taught myself to crochet. And
with me, with knitting, I was taught by my nana when I was quite young. That must be like 7, 8, maybe a little bit older. I don't know. So I knew how to do like the backwards loop thumb cast on and the knit stitch. And then it wasn't until I was about 14, 15 maybe that I then taught myself how to do like the other half of knitting, so the pearls and everything like that.
You taught yourself to do the other half of the knitting.
But then it wasn't till like we met that I really then got back into it and sort of started learning how to do cables and colour work and lace and all that sort of, all the scary looking stuff, which isn't, it's never as hard as it looks. It always looks terrifying, but
it is.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just like I accidentally learned how to do, here it is. I know Connie was on a few minutes ago, and I accidentally learned how to do Fair Isle knitting.
Wow, that's pretty.
That's one of Connie's patterns.
Yes, I was so excited. I got to be a pattern tester, and I'm like, I can't test a pattern. I barely know how to knit. She's like, you can do it. You can do it. And so here I did Fair Isle knitting, and you carry your threads in the back while you're doing it. And the only thing that I did wrong, and it wasn't her pattern was fabulous. The only thing I did wrong is there's no stretch with Fair Isle because of all of this. And I didn't know that. So I was always, tightening up my stitches, and I've made it so tight that it's really not very usable as a hat. It's very pretty, and I'm very, very proud of my stitching, and I'm very proud of having learned how to do this process, and reading the chart and all of that was great. But and I also didn't know, because I didn't know what I didn't know, that using 3 colors is even harder when you're learning Fair Isle. So apparently I just jumped in deep in with this. But I am so proud of how this thing turned out.
It's very good for your first Fair Isle knitting.
Please, like read the chart, handle 3 different colors, get your float looking so nice, even though they might be tight. They're really nice. Like the back looks really nice as well, and the front. So it's amazing. It's really
not
impressive.
bad at all. And even the top part. Where is it? There we go. The first hat I made a little while ago. Oh no, Connie! She just said her turkey hat has 5 or 6 different colors. I'm not doing it. I want to do the pumpkin hat. I do want to do the pumpkin hat.
Connie's really getting ready for Christmas, isn't she?
Oh yeah. She's throwing some curveballs at us. I made the first hat that I made was the Smells Like Yarn guy. I can't remember. I'm so bad with names, you guys, especially just off the top of my head.
The Ross hat.
Yeah, the Ross hat. And so I threw that on my needles, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I get about halfway through, and somehow I must have turned it around. So I'm making all these rows, and all of a sudden, instead of all knits on the outside, I've got pearls on the outside. Well, if you don't know, that's what it's supposed to look like. And then I've got stitches messed up, and then doing the crown. Oh, it was awful. It was just awful. So I was very, very pleased at how this was.
I love that.
It was very pretty.
Oh, it truly was. I was going to ask you, how did you learn to do the yarn dyeing? It's an interesting turn.
Yeah, so we used to live very close to a specialist hand-dyed yarn shop where we live down the south of England, and basically they were holding a yarn dyeing workshop one day, so me and Ash decided, we're going to go have a bit of fun, see what it's like.
Like the thing is, before then we didn't even know hand-dyed yarn was a thing, did we? We'd only sort of known about like the stuff you get from like your big craft shops,
the commercial yarn.
So like your acrylics, and like we knew that there was wool and stuff, but I didn't know that you could get these amazing like hand-dyed skeins. And I remember we'd like look at a couple, we'd go in and we'd be like, how did they do that? How did they get that like that? What like how they like twisted the skein is like, what sort of magic is this? And
we went to the workshop and me especially fell in love with dyeing yarn. So it was because we went to the workshop in May, and I started the company in December. So I've been for a few months doing my research, finding suppliers and everything like that. And in the December, I was just like, Ash persuaded me to do it, and he was like, "Just do it."
I can't what I remember I remember the color yarn that you dyed at that workshop too, because we did like a mini.
We did a mini and
a
100
full scheme
and a sock blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you dyed this very this very bright, very in your face red, yellow, and blue yarn that shouldn't have worked, but it kind of did. But yeah, you're like, even then you're like, no, I'm just going to chuck a load of colors on and see what happens. And then mine was the more like boring, like bland.
You did orange
color.
and grey, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my staple colors. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, it was. It was a really good.
And and this workshop was with a dyer that really inspired me, and I really respected as a person, because I bought their yarn in the past, and I still respect this dyer a lot. Us yarn dyers, we support each other, we buy each other's yarn. A very supportive community. The hand dyed yarn community. It's very supportive. We support each other.
Because it's through Dinah's
Home of Crafts. I've got some of her yarn in my stash. I love her. She's an amazing person.
And yeah, we learned a lot. Like it's amazing how you dye yarn now compared to then has changed so much.
I'm still learning now.
Without that sort of insight and teaching and understanding the basics, it would have been impossible just to even
get started.
Figure half of what you know now. So yeah, it's been little steps, but it was just it was really
great
good fun.
So yeah,
that is wonderful. I'm going to have to see if I can find, because of course that's something I want to do as well. I'm going to have to see if I can't find a class somewhere. It never occurred to me that there would be a class, so maybe I'll have to search around and see if I can find a local yarn dyer. Hi, Amber. You popped in. Hi, Kathy. There's so many of you that are popping in while I'm visiting, and I'm missing all of the names. Welcome everybody who has joined us. And Mr. is back, so now I don't have to jump up and do trucks anymore. Crisis averted. For those of you who don't know, we had a little tiny accident here on the rig 5 minutes before we went live. So we were scrambling, and Mr. had to go and buy crutches real quick. And so that's taken care of. And now I don't have to try to do everything all at once, like we're good at doing, aren't we? So I know I saw back a day we watched Crystal doing the dyeing with Kool-Aid, I think, and different kinds of food products. So I think maybe I can handle that. I bought a ginormous mystery box, and I'm going to get it wrong from, I can't remember the name, but one of the places that Crystal said to go buy a mystery box from. It was like a 20-pound box of yarn, and it had a bunch of blanks in it. And I'm like, oh, I bet I can dye this. So it's sitting in a closet waiting for me. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, I think the Kool-Aid is the easiest. Would that be correct, Daniel?
I've dyed with Kool-Aid before. I'd say it's very similar to dyeing with the acid dyes, in the fact you still need the setting agent. Otherwise, the color just won't stick to the yarn.
I wondered about that.
Yeah, you usually have an acid, like either vinegar or citric acid or something like that.
Okay.
And it helps the color set into the yarn. Oslo's making an appearance.
Hello, Oslo.
But Kool-Aid is very similar. You just mix it with water and then put it on the yarn however you want to. It's very simple to do. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube. I believe there's... What's the...
Oh, I won't remember.
I can't remember the channel's name. She does a lot of yarn dyeing videos. Chemknits.
Oh, yes. I've watched hers.
Yeah, she does a lot of yarn dyeing, but it's very similar.
Okay. Yeah, so that's, one of the mini projects, one of the that I will try and once or twice and go, yep, this isn't for me. This is too messy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do definitely want to give that a try with the ones that I have on hand there.
Yeah.
And Mama G says I can use SES. Do y'all know what that is?
No. Yeah,
Hmm.
as she said, you can use turmeric. You can use those tie-dye kits.
Oh,
So you can use the dyes in the tie-dye kits.
okay. Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, you can use coffee, even flowers from your garden. You can
Mhm.
use the flowers you get from your garden.
Yeah, I like the idea of using the natural products as well. I've
Even
seen. I know.
Pine
I'm sorry.
cone.
Yes, with pine cones. Oh, we have lots of those.
Yeah, just all you got to do is you just put it in water and let it steep in hot water until the color comes out, and then you put the yarn in.
Just making tea.
Yeah.
Yarn tea.
Yeah. The best kind of tea.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So what, do you guys have a favorite hook or needles that you use? I'm always on the look. I've got my favorite hooks, but I'm always on the lookout for favorite knitting needles since I'm new to it or new back to it.
Oh, okay. This is a difficult one. It depends what I'm working on. So for my socks, I love the Addy they called the Flexi Flips or the Crazy Trios.
Yeah, they're called something different in America.
They're kind of like a double pointed needle crossed with like a circular needle. I love those for my socks. And then for most of my other projects, I always use interchangeable circular needles. I never use the long fixed needles anymore. I used to way in the beginning, but I just use this interchangeable circulars for everything now. And I've got quite a few from a load of different brands. I really do love the Addy lace tips for certain projects because they're quite pointy and I like the slipperiness. But usually I default to like a Knitter's Pride, like a Knitter's Pride Zing or something metal for me.
Yeah.
When I went to make this, I was visiting at my daughter's house and I had not brought any knitting needles with me because I wasn't going to do any knitting. And so then I was on the hunt for knitting needles, which I did not think was going to be a big deal. Trust me, it was. So I ended up ordering a set of the Knitter's Pride. I don't know which set, but they are the aluminum ones. Because the interchangeable, and I literally could not find. I needed an 8 and a 9. I mean, super common size. Could not find them anywhere. So I just ordered that from Amazon, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I've got a decent set. I'll never have to buy another knitting needle. Ha ha ha.
So it's like that here, isn't it? If you want, unless you've got a really good, like we're quite lucky, we've got a really good local yarn shop near us. But if you end up in sort of one of the big box craft stores or anywhere like this, trying to find interchangeable needles or even circular needles is it's impossible.
And they had the 32-inch ones, but I was making a hat, so I needed the teeny tiny ones. And
I say there's one set of needles I haven't tried, but I have wanted to try for a while.
The Chow Goose.
Yeah. So Kim's
Crochet
and Knits?
Her
username exactly.
Kim's Crochet and Knits is always saying the Chow Goose are amazing.
So she's got a set of the big ones and the small ones, and they're great for like socks, sleeves, really small circumference projects. And I really want to try those because apparently the Chow Goose are really lovely, but they're very
expensive.
Very expensive. I have one set. I have one set of circular, and I'll say it now, Chow Goo, and it's a longer one. My daughter got it for me for Christmas, and I don't know if you saw the I've knitted a hat and a washcloth, so now it's time to make a blanket, right? So the blanket that I'm working on is on using my Chow Goos. And I love them. So when I was looking for knitting needles for this hat, I'm like, well, I'm just going to get me some more of these. No, a set of those is like $200. That's not going to happen.
Really expensive.
We'll be getting those piecemeal. Very much those are Christmas presents. I do want to take a moment to welcome those of you who have popped in. Hi, Michelle. I'm very far behind in welcoming everybody, and I want to thank my moderators for keeping track of things for me. We've got Angela on board, and I believe Crystal and Connie are also on board moderating in the background. Any of you who would like to have your link dropped, if you've got a channel, please just put CC in there, and those lovely ladies, when they get a chance, will drop those for us. We will not hound them to do it because they're very busy with doing all kinds of background moderator-ish type things. But so I did want to give those guys a thank you as well. And later on, we will be giving away a little gift to thank you guys for joining in. So just keep an eye out for that. Okay, so we have and Daniel, did you tell us about your favorite hooks?
Oh, my favorite hook.
He thought he was getting off that one.
No, I flicker because I love the fowls hooks. I absolutely love the fowls hooks. They're very expensive, and there used to be a UK warehouse, but they shut that down.
Oh.
From the States now, so and it's very expensive to get them from the States, so I don't get them as often now.
Here in Texas, actually. They just moved here to Texas.
Yeah, they're in Texas now, so it's very expensive for me to get them. So when I do get them, it's a treat. But I love clovers too. I love the clover amours.
Yeah. I'm just learning about the clovers. I did get a set of them. I had a 50% off coupon somewhere, and I'm like, I'm getting a set of clovers. The problem I have with the clovers is they're a little short for me. I must have great big hands. And this is the silliest little thing. But you know where it's got engraved on the end of it, the size? That rubs against, right there, it rubs against the edge of my palm. And I end up with a little sore there. The silliest thing. So it's just the way I hold it.
It's amazing how like you have a little bit of movement, but like, all the time, like over like 20 minutes, and you're like, ow, that actually really hurts.
Yeah. So I find that I need a little bit longer hook and the furls. And I've also noticed that, and I'll get the names wrong, but the metal one, the pretty one with the beautiful colors and the little metal tip on all the furls ones.
Yeah,
the Odyssey.
The Odysseys, they're very expensive. They're a lot of money.
They're also a tiny bit heavy. You wouldn't think an ounce would make a difference, but over the course of 5 hours, I end up with a neck ache. And I thought, why am I hurting? And I switched hooks for a few days. That was it. So I can only use my beautiful Odysseys when I'm working on a project for an hour or two. If it's something I'm going to be working on all day, then I use, my favorite is the acrylic ones. I like the wooden ones, but I'm finding the wood with acrylic yarn, it drags a little bit. And it's funny how everything works with each other. Kathy also said she loves the clover amours. Yeah,
I've never used. Oh, go on.
No, please go ahead.
I've never used the wooden fowls hooks before. I've never had the chance to use a wooden one, but I use the acrylic ones, and I love them.
Lines. They're your favorite.
They're my favorites. I recently got the blue ones, the Aquarius ones, because I had to have them.
Yeah, the couch ate my purple one, and I still haven't found it, and it's been over a month, and it's like, you know, and you have the cushiony area where the couch eats your stuff, but mine's completely covered in not one but 2 couch covers because of the monster dogs here. And so I took everything off, and I cannot find that hook. So I'll find it rolled under the couch up against the back wall at some point.
If it's going to keep eating your hooks, you'll have to get rid of the couch.
Right? No kidding. It's true. The hooks cost more than the couch did. Tulips, that's another one. Yes, Angela, that is another one. Tulip that people are saying. I've not tried those yet.
Hello, Ian. Yeah, we don't get the tulip. I've never seen the tulips over here.
Not in the shops. I know you can order them from Amazon and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And the other ones are like, you can get like the red ones and the pink ones, can't you? Or the black. Is it tulip? Etum?
I don't know. I stick to the ones.
So many brands out there. And then all the beautiful handmade ones that the people are making, and they have them in the Etsy shops, and I want them all. I want them all.
Mhm.
But so a few minutes ago, I did notice, and I apologize because I don't recall who said it, but when we were talking about the yarn dyeing, they wondered about the Easter egg dyes, using that.
I don't even know what Easter egg dyes are. Do we
Oh,
have over here?
I don't know.
I don't even know if we have those over here.
really? So we have dye kits at Easter, and they're usually little tablets, and each tablet's a different color, and you put it in a cup. Now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've dyed Easter eggs with the kiddos, but I believe you put each tablet in a little cup of vinegar, like half a cup of vinegar. So that must be the setting agent, and then you dip your eggs in it to dye the different colors.
Yeah, I could imagine you could
Everybody
use that.
hides them.
Yeah, I could imagine you could use that, but
It'd be interesting to see.
it'd be
if it would
interesting
work,
to
wouldn't
see
it?
if it would work, because it's dye. It's probably the same
Mhm.
stuff as you would usually use. So yeah,
Like, we might have to go and have a look.
We might-
see
yeah,
if
we're
they
gonna have to
sell
go
that
have
at
a look.
Hobbycraft or somewhere and have a play.
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can
Um,
find it in my craft shop.
Oh, here the Easter egg dyes are in every grocery store. Every
Hmm.
grocery store. Every
Yes, we might have them, but I've never seen Easter egg dyes in the UK.
never seen them in the UK. Interesting. Hmm.
I might have to go to
Okay.
Hobby Shop and have a look.
Yeah.
And Angela, do you guys have them in Canada? Is that a thing there? Isn't that funny? It never occurred to me that it was only here. Do you guys dye Easter eggs? How?
No, we
So like people like make
people paint them, I believe,
like paint
Oh.
like make
or
Easter
draw on
bonnets
them.
and
Yeah.
Angela says they have them in Canada as well. Okay. I was trying to remember. We were in Germany over Easter, and the Osterherren brought eggs and hid them outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they were colored, but that's been 40 years. So
Yeah.
we do that here, don't we? Like the Easter egg hunts.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff.
do the Easter egg hunts.
But it depends, because some people just buy like chocolate eggs and hide them, don't they?
Yeah. Or you can get
what it was.
You can get the plastic hollow eggs that you can take the top off, put what you want inside, and put the top
Yeah,
back
like, sort
on.
of like trinkets and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna quickly Google that, because I'm gonna forget otherwise. But
Interesting. Isn't it? So, and now you guys are in Scotland, so it's quite interesting, things that we take for granted that other areas have never even heard of. That's one of the joys of this whole YouTube thing, is the links that we make, the friends, the friends we make, and the interesting things that we learn that I never would have thought to ask someone that. I just assumed everybody did it.
I'd never even thought of it. But I remember as a kid, I used to do Easter egg hunts, and they used to use real eggs, and they were dyed. They weren't painted on, they were dyed. So I don't know if they were a thing and now they slowly phased it out in the UK. I don't know.
We had some exchange students from, I always get Taiwan and Thailand confused. It was Taiwan. He was from Taiwan, and we dyed the eggs when he was here, and he'd never heard of such a thing. He'd never seen anything like that. The dyed eggs, or the whole of Easter, he'd never heard of. So that was a lot of fun when we dyed eggs.
That's amazing.
That was fun. Now, what part of Scotland are you guys located in?
So
we're in Aberdeenshire. Okay. So that's north of Scotland. Northeast of Scotland.
So so when you look at like a map of Scotland, we're kind of the bit that juts out right at the top on the right hand side. Yeah. And then you've got like the Highlands that stick up above us on the west. So so we're the most northwesterly point, I guess.
So Ian said, I just Googled, you can get the tablets on Amazon UK, but Hobbycraft only has the painting kits.
So it must be more of a US and other Canada and other place sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll have to get some from Amazon and see if it works.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
We'll try something new.
Yeah. So Ash, would you mind telling us a little bit about your schooling?
Yeah. So I'm studying to be a dentist at the moment. So up at the university in Aberdeen. So I'm halfway through that now. I'm like, yeah, it feels like a lot longer than halfway.
Well, that has been a lot longer because
but yeah, I love it. Absolutely, really, really enjoy it. It's busy. It's stressful at times. But yeah, I really, really enjoy it. I love it. I can't wait to graduate and get to practice and
How much longer till you graduate?
So I've got 2 more years.
Oh, okay. You got a long haul ahead of you. Yes, saving teeth. That's so important.
Yes.
I have the worst teeth in the world. It might be good to have a line directly to a good dentist. I know people worry about having health care. For me, it's dental care. That was a wonderful.
I bet.
I need a root canal right now on that tooth right there. And my dentist, I'm like, why can't you just do it? He goes, no, you have to go to a specialist because it's one of your back molars and they're all twisted together. Oh, great. That sounds delightful. Yeah.
It's a complicated one.
That's how I roll, let me tell you. Oh, shoot, I was going to ask you something. And you work as well as well as all your studying.
So yes, I do that. Work at a local hospital.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I had thought you worked at. I didn't realize you were going to dental school. I thought you were going to school for something at the hospital. That's where I got that from.
Yes, I work there sort of
part-time.
You're
in between jobs at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah. So I'm still working at.
He's still working at the hospital, but he's recently gained a job in the NHS. So
so I'm going to be working there.
Yeah.
Going forward. So.
And so what is NHS? What is that?
NHS is the National Health Service. So it's the UK hospital,
like the public
hospital. So if you get taken to the hospital, usually you'll be taken to an NHS hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. May I ask what kind of work you do there?
So I work as a healthcare assistant. So it's assisting I don't know what the equivalent would be in.
Nurse's aide? Nursing
aid? Yes, something similar to that, yeah. So I work in outpatients at the moment.
Yep, I've done that before. I just recently retired from being a medical coder. So that was my exciting foray into the medical world. Around here. That's right. I was a phlebotomist too. I forgot about that.
Nice.
I've done a million things. I bounce around. And Daniel, we never hear about your background before the world of yarn and YouTube.
I've done a lot. I started off in college. I did catering at college. So I studied 2 years catering at college. So I got my level 2 catering, professional cookery, whatever. And then what else? And then I went on to do animal care. I did 1 year of animal care. And then I got my first job in a nursing home.
We ended up working together, didn't we?
Me and Ash ended up working together for
about 3 years?
3 years in a nursing home. So I started off doing healthcare, and then I didn't enjoy healthcare, so I got a job in the kitchen. I stuck it out. I enjoyed that a little bit more than and then I went back to college and did animal care
again.
And then I had to stop doing that because we had a family emergency, so I had to give that up so we could move back home. And then I started yarn, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's good. And you found a niche that you're thriving in, so good for you. That's all you can hope for. Whoops, that's Monster Dog hitting things. And that's all you can hope for is to find something that you enjoy doing and you're able to do that. Max, what are you doing? He's found something on the floor, so he's there's no stopping him when he's on the hunt for something. Okay.
So that's the job of live and pets.
Yeah. I was looking at some of your things, and of course everybody knows that you've got your website, and I believe if I did it correctly, I have linked your guys's your YouTube channel and your website in the description box if I've done that correctly. And I was surprised. I guess I didn't know. Here, let me just get this out of here. I was surprised to find out that you also have a pattern on Ravelry.
I have
Couple
two.
patterns.
I have
Yes, two
Yeah.
patterns on Ravelry.
I have my parallel path scarf.
Mhm.
And then what's the other one I have? Oh, my bear. I have
Yeah, the bear.
I have my bear. Because I made him just at the top of my head. I was just like, I'm just going to make a bear. So I did it, and everyone loved him and wanted a pattern. So I designed the pattern, didn't I?
Mhm.
And yeah,
He's
it's great.
adorable.
Mhm.
So for you guys that are here visiting and spending your time with us, I really appreciate you guys doing that. I know how much there is to watch out there on YouTube, and I very much appreciate you guys popping in and spending some time with us today. So as a little thank you, I want to give away one of Daniel Nash's patterns. So let's do the little numbery thing. And if you guys, so it says we've got 22-ish people on here. Let's just do number between 1 and 22. If you guys want to send me that number over, we're going to stop right now. So everybody stop. And then everybody write in the word Oslo, O-S-L-O. And we'll pick a number between 1 and 22. And if you guys want to pop that number over to me.
You wanna? Does it sit? Yeah, I think it's sit.
There we go. I got it. All right. So
Little man.
Yeah. That
okay, go
means-
ahead. And everybody put in the word Oslo, and then we'll count them down, and we'll pick a winner for your choice of one of the two patterns, whatever you guys want.
So there was a question up here that I was going to answer. Daniel, will you ever come to the US? Ash, you want to answer?
Wow. Yeah, we're planning to, aren't we?
Me and Ash have a trip to Canada booked
Mm.
in July, and we plan on visiting the States. We don't plan on visiting a lot of the States, but we only have a small amount of time, so we will be visiting the States a little bit while we're over in Canada.
But it's definitely somewhere we want to come back to see a bit more of at another time as well. So we're gonna dip our toe in a little bit, aren't we? When we come over in the summer, so that should be a lot of fun. So we're really, really looking forward to it.
And that is going to be fun. Adventures with Angela.
We're super excited.
I can't see any trouble happening there.
No, none at all.
We're not going to buy any yarn either.
No. You're going to be like me and have to buy another suitcase to bring back with you from your adventures just for yarn.
What Angela doesn't realise is Dan's being left in Canada, aren't you? So I can get.
No, you're being left in Canada, and I'm bringing your bag
extra
back.
baggage allowance.
I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind that one little bit, would you, Angela? Not at all. Not at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and stop. And let's do a count here. And of course, it's based on my screen, which I understand sometimes is different from what y'all see. Okay. The number that they picked was 20. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, we only had 11 people. So we're going to go with 11 because that's the closest to 20.
Yeah.
So the winner then is Mary Webb. Yay. Mary Webb. Okay, Mary. So once this is put back up, leave a comment in there, Mary, and then I'll connect with you and figure out how to make this work. Is that the easiest, Daniel, or is it easier for them?
She can just email me directly, and then I can send the pattern straight over to her.
Perfect. All right, super. Congratulations, Mary. Thank you guys all for playing and for joining. And that's exciting. I always like to give a little something to my folks for sharing their time with us because I do really appreciate it. And we already got that. You guys, so I always wonder about other creators, how when you're do y'all work on several projects at once, or you like me and have 20 things in the works at the same time?
I work on one project at a time. So I always get a project started and then get it finished before I start another one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even your big projects, even because I know you've got a mosaic blanket you're working on.
That I will. I am working on another blanket, but that's just one I can pick up as and when I want to. But the mosaic blanket, I will get started.
Will be in stages.
I'll get that started, and then that'll be in stages too. Because that's quite a big project.
You're usually very like monogamous for your projects, aren't you? Like I remember that he did a really big king size spread crochet blanket, and you did that in record time. I did it in a week.
I did it in a week.
And
really,
it was all he worked on, and it's even
that
with the big
amazing.
He's so determined with. Yeah, you're very strict with that, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm very much more like you. I'll have like 20 different projects on the go. Half of them I probably forgot I even started. But I can't do how it. I would love to be like Dan and be able to just start something, finish it, and move on. But I get impatient. I get too excited to start new things.
Yep. Squirrel. Oh, I want to try this. And I get sucked into all the crochet alongs and the this of the month and the and the that of the month and then I get behind on everything. And right now, I think I mentioned in my last little video, this is what I'm working on. It's really coming along well. Is this little blanket that I'm making, and it's just a throw for my friend who is ill. And so I wanted to get this done real quick. And so I'm only working on this till I get it done. But as a rule, I think right now, if I count this and what I started at my daughter's house, I think I've got 7 active projects. And that's not counting the whips in the back room that are they're not in timeout because they're bad. They're just in timeout because I squirreled and moved on to other things. So, yeah.
That's definitely something I can relate to.
Yeah, you can relate to that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing some of the other people are saying, and actually, Connie, that is true. She's got knitting days and crocheting days, and I do the same thing. I do the same thing. But so Daniel, have you tried to knit? I don't remember.
I can knit, but I just decide not to. I'm a crocheter.
Well, when you've got a star knitter in the house,
Yeah, Ash does all the knitting in the house. If I want a pair of socks, I'll say, Ash, I want a pair of socks. Knit me a pair of socks, and he'll knit me a pair of socks. Even though I've been asking for months, I want a pair of socks.
You do have a pair of socks, though.
I do have a pair of socks, but I don't want those pair of socks no more.
I want something else.
I want something new.
At least you're honest. There's that at least.
But yeah, I'm a crocheter.
I love it. What's your favorite thing to crochet, Daniel?
Blankets. Yeah. I love a good blanket. I don't like the whole granny squares. I can't do granny squares. I'm like, do it in one piece, get it all done.
Yeah, sewing all that stuff together when you're done. Oh,
yeah, no.
I hate it. And I'm sure it's just because I'm old. Crochet kind of has a stigma that knitting does not have. And to me, the granny square is the epitome of the stigma of crochet. And I see it coming back now in the wild colors. And it just makes me cringe because to me, that color granny square is what makes people think crochet is not a lovely art when we all know how lovely it is. And yet it's so back in fashion again. Bag-A-Day, now having said that, Bag-A-Day has a beautiful granny square sweater that's on my list to make, but it's because it's like 2 or 3 shades of brown. And so you don't have that in your faceness of the colors of the granny squares.
Yeah.
And being a sweater, there's not, 300 of them to sew together when you're done, because that's not happening. But
Yeah.
I am with you. I'm a blanket girl all the way. As you know, 6 blankets going all at the same time. So that's how I roll. And Ash, what is your favorite thing to make?
I love a sweater.
Yeah, you do
I love
beautiful
a
sweaters.
knitted sweater. I love a crocheted sweater. Yeah, that's what love them. That's all I really do at the moment, that and socks.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of socks, are you going to do a tutorial for us? Are you going to teach us how to make socks?
I am.
Yay!
In the process of, I'm halfway through filming a sweater tutorial at the moment, so that's almost done. And then I'll be doing the sock tutorial. But it's just getting all the pieces together because I want to do a couple of different hips and a couple of different toes and mix and match stuff. But we're currently in the process of getting our downstairs sorted so that we can have a place to store our yarn and a place to film videos and do tutorials and stuff. So once that's done, we'll be able to really hit the ground running and get stuff done. So we are working on it. So watch this space. There is something coming. Yes.
Nice. I'm so excited. Let me just take a moment and say hi to some new people that are popping in. Melanie and Left is Right Crochet with Sandy. I think Ian, I think we've said hello to you, Michelle. And I apologize for not catching everybody as you're popping in. I'm so enthralled with our guests today.
Hello, Sandy, darling.
Oh, flower granny squares. Okay, she likes the granny squares. That's true. They are very fast to do up. It's just the putting together afterwards.
Yeah.
And they're also quite portable. That is an advantage. You can, so I'm doing that hexagon, what am I doing? Oh, a hexagon blanket, which is it's another crochet along. And so we're doing a different color every week. And that's the Luck of the Draw one from, what is her name? Jeans. No, I don't know. I don't remember. If somebody remembers the name of the lady who's doing the Luck with the Draw crochet along, throw that name in there because I can't remember it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but it's a fun one. You do one a week, and the colors are very random, so which is hard for me. I very much want things ordered and controlled. I have a hard time with bright colors, and I am forever picking out 12 shades of brown. Yes, Nan's Next Knots. That's it. 12 shades of brown in something. So when I did this is my temperature blanket. Can y'all see it? There's my temperature blanket last year. So it was a little with random and the brighter colors. And so I'm kind of using my leftovers from this to do the Nan's Next Knot. So you pull, it's a random color every week, so you don't know what you're going to be putting in next. And that's a little tricky for me. My little brain doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And you guys, I know you like the brighter colors, and I know you're more like me, Ash. You like the more muted tones. So that's a hard thing.
Yeah.
Hard thing. Let's see here. I was surprised when I was looking through your store to see that you guys had stitch markers in there too.
Yeah.
Do one of you guys make those?
That's me. I'm a stitch marker maker. So it was just a thing of I want to put something else on the store, but the stitch markers aren't a big thing for me. I make them for fun. It's not something I just sit there and do sometimes. It's not something I'll have on there all the time. It's just if I've got them, I'll do them. I leave the stitch markers to the professional stitch marker makers.
Like our dear Angela, she's got some beautiful new stitch markers that she put up on her site this morning. Yeah, and I already have some in my basket. I hope they don't sell out before I get back to it.
Yes, I leave the stitch markers to Angela and Melissa.
They got some really beautiful ones, don't they?
Yeah. So I leave that to them. I just do the stitch markers for fun. I do have some charms that I want to make, but I might leave them for Canada because I said to Angela I wanted to get some UK flag charms for when I come over to Canada, because Angela can then make charms out of them. I can dye yarn while I'm over there, and then
Oh, that'll be nice.
There'll be some UK stitch markers as well as yarn dyed by me over there. So.
Oh, how exciting! How exciting! What kind of do you guys know what you're going to be planning on doing when you're visiting, other than buying yarn? I get it. I'm right there with you.
We're just happy just to go over there and spend some time with Angela, because Angela is such a dear friend of ours. Sorry, Ash, do you want to carry on filming while I let off?
So so we're really excited just to meet Angela and her husband and her family and some of the other people on YouTube. So I think we're hoping to meet Melissa. And he's been out in the garden, he's all wet. And stuff. So so it's mainly going to be guided by that, isn't it? So lots of yarn, I want to eat lots of food, lots of Canadian and US food that we can't get here. I'm going to end up, I might even have to leave yarn in Canada because my weight allowance by the time I get back on the plane. I can't. The food and the friends, the food and the yarn.
But we don't have anything set in stone. We'll just go with the flow as things come up, because like we've only got a certain amount of time to be able to travel and do stuff, because Angela's husband's booked time off work and things like that. So we'll just take things as it comes. We'll go and see Melissa. We'll go yarn shopping in the States and
see Niagara Falls.
That's definitely Niagara Falls.
Yes.
And you guys will be on the Canada side, so it's much more beautiful. I've only seen it from the US side. 2 summers ago, I think, in the spring we were up there, and everything was still kind of frozen over. It was beautiful, but I didn't realize, because silly me, I didn't realize I would need my passport just to walk over the bridge to see the other side, and I didn't have it with me, so we weren't able to walk over and see it from the Canada side, which is much more spectacular, is what I understand. So I'm glad you're going to get to see that.
Yeah, we're super excited. So we'll just.
You're going to see both sides. Angela says you'll get to see both sides. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We're super excited. This is a trip we wouldn't have been able to do if it weren't for Angela and her husband, because hotels are expensive.
Oh yes, I know.
And it's not a short trip for us. It's a 12-hour plane journey for us to get over there. It would have been less, but obviously because we're in Scotland, we need to get a flight from Scotland to London, and then London to Toronto. So it's a lot longer for us to get over there, but it'll be worth it when we get over there.
Yeah. I think we're as excited for you to be on our side of the pond as you guys are.
Yeah, we're super excited.
There's going to be lots of videos. That's another thing. Lots of videos. We're going to try and document as much of it as we can, aren't we?
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm just curious, what kind of food are you looking forward to eating?
All the unhealthy stuff.
Yeah, all the unhealthy stuff. I want proper American chicken and waffles.
Oh. Now see, the funny thing about chicken and waffles is it's not like on my whole side of the country you wouldn't find it. It's more of a specialized area thing. So I'm curious when you get that, I'm curious how that's going to be. It's considered, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it's considered, here come the dogs again. Y'all got to remember, I'm in a very small space with very big dogs. But it's considered kind of a Southern thing. And so
if I can't get it, I can't get it. As long as
I'm sure you'll be able to.
If I can get biscuits and gravy, I want to try biscuits and gravy. But then they're not called biscuits over here. They're called scones over here. I think they're very similar. Biscuits and scones are very similar.
Well, like savoury.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to say.
Yeah, biscuits are savoury, but you can get savoury scones as well.
Yes.
You can get savoury scones. I think they're very similar.
What, you guys have something, it's a crumpet? I would say it's similar to a crumpet. Our biscuits.
Crumpets are It's hard to explain a crumpet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've had them in a package, so I don't know how real it was, but
Yeah, crumpets are hard to explain. Yeah, Angela's
Yeah.
already told us she's not entertaining us. We don't need entertaining. But yeah,
Oh, yeah, and that was the thing I wanted to try was poutine.
poutine. Oh, Angela said
Poutine.
we should make sure we can get a proper
Mm.
Canadian poutine.
Yeah.
yeah. Poutine's not a thing down here. I'd never
No.
even heard of it until a little while ago. It's basically cheese, right?
It's
Cheese sauce.
it's fries, fries, gravy, and cheese curds.
Oh yes. Oh, cheese curds. Again, that's a very specialized thing. Wisconsin is known for the cheese curds, kind of the middle of the states.
Yeah,
Known for their cheese curds. I only had those the first time last summer when we were traveling through more Midwesty. They were very good. I was
Mhm.
surprised, but I don't know that I've ever had poutine either. I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever.
Yeah.
See, we
actually had
over
it.
here in us Brits, we like our chips with lots of different stuff on them. So like we have an inferior type of similar thing like chips, gravy, and cheese, but it's not the
It's
same.
not the same.
It's just not. It's so to try the real authentic.
Mhm.
That's always the best way to do anything like
It is,
that.
yeah. And it's just going to be exciting to be able to experience different foods, different cultures. Like you said earlier, like about YouTube and stuff, being able to just see things that we wouldn't see usually and just get an insight into other things and other people's stuff. And
Yeah. It's going to be a very exciting trip for us, and it's not going to be a trip we'll be able to do again for a long time. So
Yeah.
we're super excited to come over.
Yeah. Just gonna have
If I could come over sooner, I would, but because of Ash's school, we can't.
Well, that's extremely important, Ash.
Mhm.
it is.
We're just very, very happy that you're going to be coming over and getting to try a few things. Oh, Kathy says she's from Wisconsin and she loves the cheese curds. I didn't know that they came in different flavors either. So yeah, you're right, Angela. They're never leaving your yarn room. I know that's going to happen. So yes, somebody wants to know. Left is right. Sandy wants to know who's going to be taking care of Mr. Oslo while you're gone.
Granddad will have Oslo.
So he's going to be living with my granddad.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Because you love him. He's your other best friend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. A lot of times, Mr. and I, and you'll see me, I'm running off hither and yon, and he's sitting at home with the dogs because getting somebody to watch the 3 monster dogs is not as easy as one very quiet, well-behaved puppy like he is. And so a lot of times it's just easier for me to go gad about, and he stays home with the puppies.
Yeah.
No,
him and Granddad have got a very special connection. Like if we're not here, Granddad will look after him more than fine.
Yeah.
Granddad.
So
Granddad
we're
loves
very
Oslo.
lucky in that.
Yeah.
Because Oslo comes first and everything, and if we didn't, he wouldn't manage in like a kennel or anywhere like that. I think he'd find it too stressful. So if it weren't for Granddad,
the first time we had to leave the puppies in a kennel, I cried. And part of it was because the little one, Joe Dog, we got him from the pound. So I just, and it's been 5 or 6 years, but I didn't want him to be afraid that we were dropping him back off at something like that.
Yeah, Oslo's a very anxious dog.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not with one of us, he won't be happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, and these guys, it's Dad. They want Dad. The big one, Max, he'll sit at the window and just cry if he sees. And the last time he went to town to pick up a few things, and he came back and he's unloading the truck and he's got the door open, and Max jumped up into the truck and sat in that front seat. He's like, "You're not leaving me again."
Yeah.
They're funny. They are funny.
They really are.
You're a funny boy, aren't you?
And the way they take over our life. Good Lord. Yeah, Ian says it's going to be like trying to get Imelda Marcos out of a shoe shop when you guys get to Angela's yarnery.
Angela's already preparing herself that there's going to be no yarn left in her yarn room when we come over.
That's so
I don't know about that. Oh, Kathy, that sounds fabulous. Warm cheese.
we're just giving her an excuse to buy more yarn.
Yeah, we're just giving her an excuse to buy more yarn. Yeah.
Yeah, and she, like I, do not need an excuse to buy more yarn.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Not
definitely.
at all. Not at all. I was really surprised to see one of Crystal's shawls, one of Bagaday's shawls on your guys' shop as well.
Yeah, I made that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one I made because I wanted to use some of my yarn, and I'd never used my yarn
The one with
before.
the sparkle in it.
Yeah, so I was just like, I'm just gonna make a pattern. So I chose one of Crystal's patterns, and it's on my website. I'll probably take it off and give it to someone as a gift or something. But
It's so pretty.
yeah,
It's really good. Well, and Bagaday has been one of those people as well that has just done. I think she really has encouraged the community to do more work. Anytime I'm stuck, I just pop over to her. And if it wasn't for her site, I would never have made a sweater. I made my first ever sweater for my grandson from one of her patterns. And this little blanket that I'm making right here, I wanted something that was going to be very pretty, but also very quick. And so I know that I can always pop over there and find something that's beautiful, easy to do, and well done tutorials. And that's and you can click through and like, oh, yep, there it is. That's the one. And I especially love the fact that she takes the time to show you how to do it in different sizes or how to do it with different weights of yarns, because a lot of people don't. And I'll tell you what, I have even bought patterns where I'll get the pattern and it's like, it's in 3 sizes. Well, guess what? People are in more than 3 different sizes. That's really annoying to me. If you're going to have a very restrictive sizes in your patterns, you need to say that right up front. And I don't think that's right. And I understand that it makes it much more complex for the pattern designer, but as the consumer, I think that's something that's important to put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree. Yeah,
I agree with that too.
Yeah, Crystal has some amazing patterns.
Just beautiful, and everything you can imagine. Everything you can imagine. So, Ian, my dogs we have 3. I have the small one is a terrier, and we got him from the pound 5 or 6 years ago. And then the 2 big ones we've got the middle-sized one she's a lab mastiff mix, and she's just very, very quiet, very, very friendly personality, very sweet. She weighs in the neighborhood of 100 pounds. Sorry, I know I'm telling your weight to everybody. And then the big one is actually the puppy. So Miss Sophie is the oldest. She's in the neighborhood they were all rescues. So she's in the neighborhood of 11 years old, maybe 12 years old. And then Max, who's the big noisy one that runs into things and knocks stuff over. And he's the puppy, but he is 9 years old. And he's the one that's in the picture. That's him sitting in the front seat of the RV. So he's 9-ish years old. And the problem with my puppies is all 3 of them are different ages, and all 3 of them are right about the end of their given lifespan. So I am afraid that we're going to lose them all in a very short time frame of each other, and that's going to be horrific. So the Mastiffs 10 is kind of it. If you get one that's 11 or 12, that's almost unheard of. And he weighs about 125 pounds, so he's smallish for a Mastiff. We had one before who weighed 205 pounds, and he was just the sweetest thing. And again, 9 years old, and we lost him. So
that Mastiff is what Haley had.
Okay, yeah.
So they're quite big puppies, but just sweetest, friendliest dogs. And the funny thing is, People go, oh, you got a Mastiff in a tiny little space. Mastiffs are actually considered good apartment dogs because they actually don't need a lot of exercise. They don't want, you can't take them on long walks. They're not bouncy like the terriers can be, but we'll let him out and he'll still, do the zoomies like a puppy will, and 2 or 3 times around and he's done. And now he's ready. Yes, the Great Pyrenees. That's another big old fluffy dog. That's another one that I would love to have. We like the big dogs, and but I also like the little dogs. When I got Joe Dog, who's a terrier. He's a border terrier. Is that right, Dennis? A border terrier? Yeah, border terrier. And I was looking for a poodle, and I found him, and I just fell in love with him. And so I keep saying I want to get a poodle next, but the reality is I don't want a poodle. What I really want is, and now I'm going to forget the name. They're small and they're white. I always see them that they're white, and I cannot think of the name. It's not a Lapso, but it's a small dog like that. But I'm just. And I'm also a cat person. I love cats also. So, but I will always have not a Pom. They're pure white.
I can't think of the dog.
Maltese. Yes, that's it. A Maltese. Yep. I want a Maltese or a Maltipoo. So that's what I'm looking to get. They're just.
Cute.
But who knows what I'll end up with? I will always have something, and because house isn't a home without paw prints and dog hair, right?
Right.
Definitely not.
I completely agree with that.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Angela, that would be just awful listening to at the same time. I can't. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just heart-wrenching when you lose them. It just is.
Yeah.
Is also a shedder as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm hoovering all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
But we don't mind.
Yeah,
it's Oslo.
That's exactly right.
He's our baby. We do anything for him.
That's the thing. We'd miss it if it wasn't there. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Does anybody? I've been just chatting nonstop. Does anybody have any questions for Daniel and Ash? Make sure you pop that up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun to visit with you guys. What are you working on right now?
So I am halfway through a quarter way through a pair of socks for Angela.
Angela, not Daniel.
Yeah, Angela. Yeah.
Just checking.
I've got my priorities right this time. And I'm halfway through a cardigan I designed that I'm doing a tutorial for.
Mm-hmm.
And what else have I got? And I've got a couple of sweaters that I think I've got 2 sweaters that I'm crocheting and one that I'm knitting. So that's what I've got at the moment.
And for me, I've just got one blanket.
Oh, and the mosaic.
Yeah.
Cottage
yeah,
But that doesn't count.
You haven't started that yet. So I've got a blanket that I'm working on, and I will soon be starting the mosaic. The mosaic blanket once my other yarn arrives for it. So.
Okay. What did you end up getting for yarn for that mosaic? That's one of the things that has put me off of doing a mosaic. One of the things is having to collect all the different colors.
Right. So for me, I just got a black, the most of it, and then for the colourful bits, I just got a range of different yarns.
It's mainly
Premier sweet rolls I'm using mostly.
The fruits.
So I'm using the fruit, and I'm also using and I'm also using just regular sweet rolls as well. So it's just a mix of.
Yeah, so you've only then got like 2 colours at a time, really. Then don't you? Mm-hmm. Getting the colour changes through the yarn rather than having to colour manage a lot of stuff. So I think it's going to look lovely with that really nice black. The pops are coming through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That is going to be beautiful. Are you going to make one as well, Ash? Or are you guys sharing?
I'm making one as well. Yeah, but I'm doing it in different yarn.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never done. Well, I don't think you've done a mosaic.
I've never done
before,
mosaic.
have you? So I'm kind of nervous because I've never done one before. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm excited. I love trying new things, but I think I'm just worried about my color choices because I tend to I've got a certain palette that I like, don't I? And I don't know if it's
Mhm.
I don't know if I can pull it off with a mosaic.
Yeah, you
So,
might have to go a little out of your comfort zone.
I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to live life on the edge for
Yeah.
for this. But yeah,
Yeah.
it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
And I wanted to join you guys in that. I really did, but there was just no way I could throw in another big project. I've got so many big projects already. Like I said, I've got 6 blankets going already right now, and I'm
it's
behind on every one of them.
It's a big blanket, but the cow is running until the end of the year. So even if you do say in a couple of months' time, say, "Oh, I want to do it," then you can join in.
Even if it's just a strip.
Yeah.
If just one panel repeat or whatever. Yeah.
So it runs until the end of the year. So you've got until then.
I wonder if I could make it a little smaller, make it more like a throw instead of a full-size blanket. Would that be possible? Oh,
it's very
Angela might be adding something.
Yeah, so you don't have to, as long as it's there and you've purchased the pattern, you can
yeah.
You
Because
can
I
do
think
whatever.
on yours you're taking there's some motifs you're not
Yeah,
doing.
I'm taking some of the motifs out because I don't want them.
Oh, okay, didn't care for
that.
Yeah.
I found a mosaic blanket pattern that I love. I want to decorate my home in sort of cowboy-ish, not southwestern, because that's a very specific style with the Aztec type stuff, but cowboys. So boots and hats and stars and horses and all of that kind of thing. And so cowboy western. And I found a mosaic that had all that kind of stuff in it. And so I was half thinking, well, I could do that at the same time you're doing yours. It's still mosaic, but I didn't know if that would count. So I didn't say anything. And I don't know if I'm going to get to it or not. It's on my list. I literally have probably 1,500 patterns stashed away between Ravelry and ePattern Central and I'm not even counting all the stuff I've tucked away onto Pinterest because it's just never ending. And I want to do the sweaters, and sweaters scare me so much. The knitted sweaters and knitted socks scare me so much, but I really, really want to learn how to do that. I think I can.
You can. Definitely.
And there's just, it's never ending. I need 2 more lifetimes to accomplish everything I want to accomplish. And I'm lucky sitting here in the RV. We are literally, we can't leave. So I have more time to do my yarn work than the majority of people. It's not unusual for me to spend 8 or 9 hours a day working on projects where I know if I were living in the real world that just wouldn't happen. And my glasses. We've got so much dust in here that my glasses get dusty just sitting here doing something like this. It's unbelievable. We have yet another dust storm today. So
wow. That's
I won't
crazy.
miss that. Yes, Ash is going to help me with my knitting.
Yes.
We've already discussed that, Angel. There will be sock training in my. Do you do a lot of measuring and stuff when you're doing the socks? I think that's one of the things that scares me. It's not going to actually fit.
For myself, when I'm making socks for me and Dan, no. But I think that's just because I'm so used to making them now. I know sort of for the yarn I'm using and the needle size, how many rows to do of a certain bit, and so it's like they're quite forgiving, to be honest, with socks.
Really?
Because they've got, as long as you get it to a point that it can go around your foot and you don't make it too long, they can be quite forgiving. I think the only time I've had was my first ever sock, which
and most sock
I couldn't even get it past my.
Most sock patterns will give you the stitches and the dimensions that you need for certain sizes. So
and the measurements that I will touch on it in my video, but the measurements for socks, they're quite simple really. It's mainly sort of like foot length, your circumference, and your foot width. Okay. So I definitely prefer the measurements for socks compared to sweaters, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was scared when I did that sweater for my grandson. He's clear across the country, And I'm like, okay, I need to know how long your arm is. I need to know your neck to, and I need to know your chest and all this stuff. So he gets out this metal tape measure that he's using, for construction on the house. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't have to be exact because it's a sweater, but it's got to be pretty close. And then my daughter went to visit, and then she did some measuring, and I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. And worst case, you mail it back to me and I'll rip out the sleeves and we'll make them longer or shorter. Cause that's what I was really worried about was the sleeve length. And he put that thing on, and I swear it looked like it. And this sounds ridiculous, but it looks like it was made for him. And the measurements were perfect. So I was so proud of myself. That, and it being the first sweater I had ever made, I was delighted. Oh, and you know what I saw the other day, Ash? I don't know where I saw it, but I saw a tutorial for doing knitted cables without a cable needle, where she actually had live loose stitches and she was flipping things. How scary is that?
Yeah,
it
is.
Ash, an attempt to do that, please.
I've done it before.
Oh, have you?
Do you remember that? Yeah, quite recently.
Was it that hat?
Do you remember that square I was working for, that blanket, where you had to drop the 2 stitches?
Yeah, I remember.
Carry on working, pick the 2 stitches
up.
Yeah.
Maybe with 2 stitches, but no more than that.
No. Gives me the shivers.
Right?
Yeah,
and I'm like, just use that cable needle. It's not that big a deal. But what she was saying is, in case you lose it, you're out and about and you don't have it with you, it's something you can do. And I'm like, that's scary. I don't want to. I'm going to cry. So yes, Ian is saying that you're making a colorwork sweater. And if you can, and I was going to say, your colorwork, you can absolutely do the that blanket. It's not going to be a problem at all.
Ash does some beautiful color work.
I do love color work.
Yeah,
I really do.
I am just in awe of your work. I got to tell you, so I was moving. I have moved so many times recently, but as I was moving again last summer, and cleaning out all the stuff I had in storage, and I was literally going through every box and trying to weed down. And I opened this box, and of course I've got lots of boxes of yarn, etc. And I'm taking this stuff out, and I found a pattern and half of a sock on a set of needles, on a set of circular needles. And this, I must have taken a class at some point in time, or my mother, and there was a piece of butcher paper with the outline of a foot and measurements written on it. I have no memory whatsoever of this. It was probably something my mom half started. And so I have half of one sock on a pair of knitting needles. And I'm like, well, I've got the yarn here. It's probably still fine. But so talk about problems, UFOs. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Do you do that too, Ash? Well, I know you don't, Daniel. If you finish everything, you start one at a time. Do you have a lot of UFOs?
I do, yeah. Too many.
I just even pulled them all out of the cupboard because there's so many.
My favorite one is when I'm like, I'm going to start this project. Then I realize I've actually already started that particular project or that particular sock in that particular color. And I'm like, So yeah.
Do you do your socks one at a time or both at the same time?
One at a time. Yeah.
You tried doing them time, but
I'm probably going to start trying to do them in tandem, so like doing the cuff and then the cuff, the leg and the leg, just because I do find it really hard. Once I've got the first sock done, I'm really like happy, but then when I've got to then cast on to do the other, I'm not so
yeah, that's what worries me. Even when I was doing that sweater, I'm like, I gotta do another sleeve. I don't know. And they have to be, that's what scares me about one thing with a sweater where they've got, you've got this color and then you've got this color. I'm like, how do you get them exactly even? And then some people, they match I suppose most people match the actual sweater too. And I'm like, I don't think I could ever do that.
A lot of like color control and stuff, isn't it? Yeah,
I've only recently got into making crocheted sweaters myself. It was actually Angela from My Precious Yarnery. She just said, just do it. Just make a sweater. You'll understand what I mean. And honestly, I've made I'm on my second sweater right now. Actually, I have a sweater on the go as well. I'm on my.
Forgot about that
Yeah,
one.
I forgot about that one. And honestly,
We're gonna suck him in. He's gonna have 10 projects pretty soon.
Yeah, we're slowly working on it.
Yeah, I do like a good sweater.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the ones, and I'm gonna get the name wrong, where the seam goes down like raglan. Raglan, is that right? Or raglan? Those scare me. And so, do you think what is for a knit sweater? What's going to be the best to be a first one?
Oh, it depends. See, there's so many. I would probably do a flat raglan sweater, so in pieces.
Oh,
So
in
like,
pieces.
yeah.
Connect them together.
Just because for me, I found it really handy to sort of understand how the pieces come together and how they work, and what you're trying to achieve in terms of like the shapes you're creating with the fabric. And because you're sort of only working on a piece at a time, if you make a big mistake on a sleeve or you make a big mistake on the back, you've not got to like rip the front and half the sleeve off at the same time.
Yes.
If you're doing like a yoke sweater, it's just but it's sort of swings and roundabouts really, because you've then got, if you do a raglan in pieces, you're working flats, you've got purl stitches to do, and
I'm okay with that.
And then it's sewing it up, whereas some people really like just doing it in one piece. But then if you're doing it in one piece, you've got to decide whether you're going to do it from the bottom up or the top down. And so I would probably just stick with a good old-fashioned flat raglan sweater just for the first one,
and piece it together, and then you add a collar then when you're done.
And you just pick up the stitches and do the collar. So that's how I learn, and it might not work for everyone, but I found it really handy to do it that way. And then I think, what did I do after that? I think I then did one in the round, didn't I? Top down. I think it was like a tin can knits pattern I did.
Oh, I just found them.
They're really approachable if you want to do. I know they've definitely got some really good approachable beginner friendly in the round sweaters. So if that's something you want to have a go at,
I like working in the round.
Yeah, that would be, especially if you use like an Aran weight yarn, you'll get it done really quick. And you mentioned in sizing for inclusive sizing and stuff, they've got sizes to fit, like for literally from newborn babies all the way up to really large sizes.
Okay.
I know for men, I think they go up to like triple XL or maybe even 4XL.
Wow.
So, very inclusive.
Well, and then of course there's Linda, and I just lost it. I'm so bad with names. There was another, but I did those tin can. I just found them maybe a week ago, and I'm like, where have you been all my life? I love it. And like you were saying, their stuff is beautiful, but it doesn't look so overwhelmingly hard that I'm afraid to try it. And you were talking about picking up the stitches when you're doing. I saw another pattern where they were talking about that. I'm like, that sounds really, really hard. But it's like you said, you do one thing at a time. You're doing one stitch at a time, and once you figure out the little bits of it, it's not terrible.
And some people probably cringe and wince with me saying this, but some of the times as well, you can just fudge it. If you're having a really difficult time, no one's other than you, or unless they're really looking up close, they're not going to know that needle was meant to go like half a fraction to the right, gone into the wrong part of the stitch. Like, and it's just experience. It's just doing it, getting used to it, and then just keep doing it. It's like just pushing through the difficult bits, and
Mm-hmm.
and you get there in the end. And even now, there's still times that I'm trying to pick up a stitch, and I'm like, where am I trying to put my needle? Like, what is this stitch? Like, trying to work it out. And then other times I can just fly through it, and it's like
Exactly,
no
Angela.
problem.
Just wing it.
Yeah,
Just
yes.
wing it.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. And the one thing I have to remember is I'm not being graded on this. The only one that truly knows every single stitch is me. And obviously I don't know. So we're just winging it. Get this thing done. Goodness.
Exactly.
Goodness.
I totally agree.
I do want to take a moment and let you guys know that next week my guest is going to be Linda Simpson, who is a fabulous knitter and a wonderful, wonderful lady. So I'm super excited about that.
Okay.
And I hope you guys will join us while we visit with her as well. And does anybody else have any questions? Oh, Ian says he's just finished a shawl. Oh, and you're going to make a video. Yay. Can't wait to see your
lovely.
video. That's going to
Yes.
be wonderful.
Yeah.
That is going to be wonderful. And thank you guys so much. It has just been an absolute joy to get to visit with you guys and know you guys a little bit better. And
Been real fun, hasn't it?
Mhm.
I've really enjoyed it.
good. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And thank you for agreeing to be on my live. I was just tickled pink when you agreed to. Every time I ask someone and they say yes, I'm like, oh, really? You'll be on my live with me? Thank you so much. It's a thrill. It's a thrill.
No, I do like doing the interviews.
No,
Yes.
Being in people's panels. It's
this
fun.
is my first one.
This is your first one, yeah?
Really? Oh, I feel so special now. Even more special than I felt before. And thanks for jumping right in. Poor Angela, she'll tell you, you never know. You never know what you're getting yourself into when you agree to come on one of my lives. It has,
Right.
just the nature of lives. You never know what's going to happen between computer problems and internet problems. And I was concerned we were going to have an internet problem because my phone absolutely would not connect to YouTube this morning or yesterday afternoon. And I'm like, well, this can't happen. This cannot happen. And that popped right up today. So at least that wasn't a thing.
It was meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be. So
Yeah.
thank you guys ever so much for joining us. And everybody, if there's, of course, everybody on here is already subscribed to you. So that is, make sure you get on there and watch everything that they do. And we're loving your driving tours about town. That's been so fun too.
We plan on doing more of those soon.
Yeah,
Good.
Definitely more.
They were good fun.
That's
We like doing them.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to come up with different things that you think people are going to be interested in, and that one's been quite enjoyable for us. I'm really enjoying the time you're spending behind the wheel. It's been good too. Well, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you everybody for joining us, and make sure you get on there and of course see everything that Daniel and Ash do because it's all amazing. And make sure you pop around and go visit My Precious Yarnery and all of the other people that have helped us out today. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.